The message arrived at 11:42 p.m. I almost ignored it. My sister Lily had a habit of sending random voice memos, grocery lists, half-finished thoughts, things she forgot to text. But something about the preview made me tap play. Static filled the first second. Then Lily's voice came through clearly. "Mom, I swear I'm trying, but Megan just makes everything harder." My chest tightened. My name is Megan Holloway, and hearing my sister complain about me wasn't new. But then she kept talking. "I mean, she still thinks Dad left the house to both of us," Lily said with a quiet laugh. "You should have seen her face when the lawyer told us everything was already signed." A second voice, my mother's, answered in the background. "Well, she never needed to know the whole plan." I stopped breathing. The memo kept playing. "Exactly," Lily continued. "Once Megan signs the renovation papers tomorrow, the property transfers automatically. She'll think she's helping fix the place up." My fingers went cold around the phone, because the renovation documents were sitting on my kitchen table right now, and the appointment with the contractor was scheduled for 9 the next morning. Then Lily said the sentence that made something inside me go perfectly still. "She won't even realize she just signed away her half." I listened to the voice memo 3 times. Not because I didn't understand it, because part of me kept hoping I misunderstood it. Each replay made the meaning clearer. My sister wasn't venting. She was explaining a plan my mother already knew about. The kitchen felt colder with every second the recording played through my phone speakers. The renovation papers were still on the table where Lily had left them earlier that afternoon. She'd stopped by smiling, carrying coffee, talking about how we should finally fix the old house Dad left us. "Our house," she had said. I walked over slowly and opened the folder. The documents looked ordinary. Contractor agreements, repair estimates, authorization forms. Nothing that screamed trap. But the voice memo was sitting in my hand. "Once Megan signs the renovation papers tomorrow, the property transfers automatically." My stomach tightened. I flipped through the pages more carefully now. Halfway through the packet, I saw something that hadn't stood out earlier. A legal attachment. Small. Buried under renovation approvals. Property transfer authorization. My signature line highlighted. The room went quiet. I realized 2 things at the same time. First, Lily had sent the voice memo by mistake. Second, she had no idea I had heard it. And suddenly tomorrow morning looked very different. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I sat at the kitchen table with the folder open and my laptop glowing beside it. Every page of the documents was scanned, zoomed in, and read carefully. The deeper I looked, the clearer the trap became. The renovation contract itself was harmless, but the attached authorization form was something else entirely. Buried in legal language was a clause transferring ownership of the property to Lily in exchange for project management liability. In plain English, if I signed the renovation approval, the house automatically became hers. Clean. Legal. Permanent. My mother's quiet voice in the memo echoed in my head. She never needed to know the whole plan. I leaned back in my chair and stared at the ceiling. The worst part wasn't the house. It was realizing how calmly they had arranged it. No argument. No confrontation. Just paperwork and a smile. At 7:18 a.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Lily. "Morning. Don't forget the contractor meeting at 9. Bring the papers." I typed a simple reply. "Of course." A few minutes later, another message appeared. "Thanks again for helping with this, Meg. Dad would have wanted us working together." I stared at the screen for a long moment. Then I closed the folder gently, because the meeting at 9 was still happening. Just not the way my sister expected. I arrived at the contractor's office 10 minutes early. The building smelled faintly of fresh paint and coffee, the kind of place where people sign things without thinking too hard about them. Lily was already there. She waved the moment she saw me, her smile bright and effortless like always. "Meg," she said, standing to hug me. "I'm so glad we're finally fixing the house." The house. Dad's house. The one we had both grown up in. I hugged her back, careful to keep my face neutral. "Me too," I said. A contractor joined us at the table a few minutes later and began explaining renovation timelines, budgets, and structural repairs. Lily nodded eagerly through the entire presentation. Every few minutes, she glanced at the folder in front of me, waiting. Finally, the contractor slid the paperwork toward us. "Once these approvals are signed," he said, "we can begin immediately." Lily leaned closer to me. "This part's simple," she whispered. I opened the folder slowly. The same documents. The same transfer clause. The same signature line waiting patiently. Lily watched me pick up the pen. Her expression calm, confident, like someone watching a plan unfold exactly as expected. I signed the first page, then the second, then the third. By the time I reached the last document, Lily's smile had widened. But she didn't notice one small detail. I hadn't signed the page she needed. Lily didn't notice. That was the surprising part. She was too focused on the stack of signed pages already in front of the contractor. "Great," she said brightly, leaning back in her chair. "That should cover everything, right?" The contractor flipped through the documents quickly. "Almost," he replied. "Just one more authorization." He slid the final page toward us. The page. The one Lily needed. The one that transferred the house. She looked at me expectantly. "Go ahead," she said lightly. "It's just the ownership verification part." Ownership verification. That's how the clause had been disguised. I picked up the pen again, studying the page like I hadn't seen it before. Then I lowered it slowly. "I can't sign this," I said. The room went quiet. Lily blinked at me. "What do you mean?" she asked. I turned the paper slightly so the contractor could see the highlighted section. "This document transfers my half of the property," I said calmly. The contractor frowned and leaned forward to read the clause again. Lily's posture stiffened instantly. "It's just legal wording," she said quickly. But the contractor shook his head. "No," he said slowly. "This actually does authorize a full ownership transfer." I looked at Lily. She wasn't smiling anymore. And for the first time since I arrived, she looked nervous. Lily laughed. Too quickly. Too loudly. "Oh my God, Meg, you're overthinking this," she said, waving her hand dismissively. "It's just a technical form so the contractor can deal with one person instead of two." The contractor looked uncertain. "That's not exactly what the document says," he replied carefully. Lily's eyes flashed toward him, irritation slipping through her smile. "Well, that's how our lawyer explained it," she insisted. I stayed quiet, just watching her, because the calm confidence she walked in with was beginning to crack. "I think I'll have a lawyer review it first," I said. The temperature in the room changed instantly. Lily turned to me slowly. "A lawyer?" she repeated. "Yeah," I said simply, "before I sign anything involving property transfers." For a second, neither of us spoke. Then she leaned closer to me, lowering her voice. "You're making this weird," she whispered. Weird. That word almost made me laugh. "Lily," I said quietly, "why didn't you mention this clause when you dropped off the papers yesterday?" Her eyes flickered. Just for a second. But it was enough. Because in that moment I knew she understood something. The plan had fallen apart. And she had no idea how much I already knew. Lily forced a smile again, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Meg, come on," she said softly, like she was calming a nervous child. "It's just paperwork. You trust me, right?" That sentence used to work. Growing up, Lily had always been the charming one. When things got tense, she could smooth it over with a smile and a gentle tone that made everyone feel unreasonable for questioning her. But the voice memo was still saved on my phone. "I do trust paperwork," I said calmly. The contractor shifted awkwardly in his chair. "I think it might be best if both of you have independent legal advice before signing anything like this," he suggested. Lily shot him a quick glare before turning back to me. "You're blowing this way out of proportion." I tilted my head slightly. "Am I?" Then I reached into my purse and placed my phone on the table. "I listened to your voice memo last night," I said. The color drained from her face instantly. "You meant to send it to Mom?" I continued quietly. "But you sent it to me instead." The room went perfectly still. Lily's mouth opened, but no words came out. Because now she understood something. Her plan hadn't just failed. I had heard everything. For a moment, Lily didn't move. Then she reached for the phone like it might explode. You weren't supposed to hear that, she whispered. I almost smiled. That's usually how secrets work, I said calmly. The contractor cleared his throat, clearly wishing he wasn't sitting between us. What voice memo? He asked carefully. Lily shot up from her chair. It was taken out of context, she said quickly. Meg is twisting things. I didn't argue. Instead, I pressed play. Lily's voice filled the quiet room. Once Megan signs the renovation papers tomorrow, the property transfers automatically. Then my mother's voice followed. She never needed to know the whole plan. When the recording ended, the silence felt heavy. The contractor slowly closed the folder. I'm not touching this project until ownership is clarified, he said firmly. Lily stared at me like she didn't recognize the person sitting across from her. You ruined everything, she said. I stood up and gathered the papers. No, I replied calmly. You did that yourself. Later that week, I met with a lawyer. The house stayed exactly where Dad intended it. Half mine, half Lily's. But something else changed permanently that morning. My sister stopped seeing me as the easy one, and I stopped pretending she was family.